Election 2024 is in vogue, folks. And you know what? It is time to start. And I tell you what, Chuck Todd gave Mike Pence an interview, former vice president for Trump, Mike Pence, a great interview in which Mike Pence, in my humble opinion, disqualified himself for the presidency. But more importantly, I think he disqualifies his party from ever holding the presidency again. Well, at least in our lifetime, based on what they've attained with the Supreme Court, what they've legislated through the Supreme Court. But I want you to listen to this interview and then we'll take it on the other side.
I recognize that this issue is likely going to be resolved one state at a time. Some states have already acted to advance the cause of life. And I've said to people, when the Dobbs decision was overturned, we haven't come to the end. We've come to the end of the beginning. And Chuck, it may take as many years to restore the sanctity of life to the center of American law in every state in this country as it took to overturn Roe versus Wade. But as long as I have breath, I'll be in that cause.
You're a limited government guy. Are you comfortable with the idea of essentially government mandated pregnancy? If somebody doesn't want this child, doesn't want this pregnancy to go through, you're now advocating a law that essentially the government is ordering you to go through with. Are you comfortable with a government mandate like that? The folks in Kansas were.
Our founding documents say we're endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. And the first one mentioned is life. And I think government exists to protect life, particularly defenseless life. And I intend to be a part of this. And we have the opportunity not just to craft thoughtful protections for the unborn, but also to extend protections and support for women in crisis pregnancy and for newborns.
Do you think the unborn have constitutional rights?
I believe
they don't in our law right now, but do you believe they should?
I believe in the right to life, and do
you believe an unborn fetus has a constitutional right?
We are protected in this country from being denied life or liberty without due process of law. And I believe those protections should extend to the born and the unborn.
There are several issues here that we have to be cognizant of. One, he intends, as you notice, he tries to make it soft, but he intends to create an abortion ban throughout the entire country, not via Supreme Court, but actually now it's by state, by state, by state, by state. But it's much deeper than that, because Chuck Todd says, wait a minute, do you realize that even as a small government out of your business kind of a party that you're supposed to be, you are saying, you are telling women that they must go through with their pregnancy. So says the state. But it goes even further, folks. And the last part is actually very dangerous. And very few people are going to see it initially. But here is the danger. He decides to say, the born and the unborn now has what? Constitutional rights. Think about what that means. That means any prosecutor going forward, if somehow you touch a kid or whatever happens, if a woman gets food poisoned or a woman accidentally eats something, now remember that unborn has constitutional rights, and prosecutors can do some magic for people they want to get. So folks, I think it is time for us to start amassing these statements that these radical fascist people are making already. And again, we need to start naming them. You remember how good they were at turning a great thing, the word liberal, the word progressive, into something too many liberals and progressives became ashamed of because of how it was deemed. Well, having these guys being fascist, the American Taliban, and more, it is time that we tag them as people we shouldn't touch, as people we should never, ever see in office. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.